Hello and welcome to the garden at Heath House. It's Easter Sunday 2020 and we're going to do a quick tour of the garden. The house is Victorian and rather square, so the neighbouring garden has to be in style with that, and we've got very square and straight box, yew and holly hedges, and also a formal area of gravel with raised grass beds and a round pond. One of the things about this garden is that the paths are designed to be wide enough for two people to walk hand in hand, each holding a glass of wine. So it's a garden to enjoy. It's not a garden where you just go and look at plants and design and things like that. Anyway, let's go up these steps. Out of the formal area, this is the only change in level in the entire garden. We're very flat, even by Essex standards. And we go through here and we find a round lawn surrounded by beds which are edged with Nepeta catmint, which is the same as we saw in the front garden. This area is becoming less formal, it's more lyrical. There are curves to the beds. And as you go around, you feel perhaps a little bit more relaxed, and there's no crunch of gravel, which is a relief. There are one or two places where you can sit down and look, and that's very important in a garden. It's all too easy just to walk past and say, oh, that's a nice bench. But sitting down and looking gives you pause for thought, and you see it at a slightly different angle. Coming through some fairly massive yew hedges here into the oval lawn. It's called the oval lawn because it's oval. There's a north-facing fence there, which is good for camellias and other plants that don't like too much sun. In the middle, there's a pergola which is going to have a mass of roses and clematis on it shortly. And if we go round to the left, we find another gap in the hedge. And this flower bed has actually got variegated honesty in it, and it's a wonderful plant, that, because it's so simple and it lightens up the garden at this time of year when not a lot else is showing any colour. I'm not showing you the major camellia walks because they've gone over a bit, but this one here, because it's north facing of course, is a lovely pink camellia. Next to it is a really choice red one, absolutely beautiful. And up at the end is the lady who definitely thinks she's the star of the show. This is Mrs. Davis, who is quite a girl, enjoys going to parties, I think. And this is our round lawn, which has a white border on the one side and a red hot border on the other, neither of which are doing a lot at the moment. They're just beginning to come. I'm going to go to the gap at the far end now. Here we are at the far end, and there is a row of bricks that bridges the gap between the hedges. And what we do is we step down here, just like that, and we're out of the formal area and we're into the wild garden, where wildflowers predominate. And in the near area, we will find later in the year, there's just a mass of oxeye daisies. At least there should be, but wild plants tend to decide themselves where they're going to go and won't be put. So who knows what will be there? Could be something completely different. I'm now going to go over the pond, down to the far end, and we're going to look back. On my way, just can't resist this, some lovely fritillarias, kingcups, and a concrete crocodile. So there you go. Right, here we are at the bottom of the garden, looking back towards the south, and you may recognise this picture from one of the stills that's in the yellow book. Near at hand, we've got some cowslips, which are just turn up over the meadow. They're lovely. And in the rest of this area, there will be absolute mass in a few months' time of marsh orchids, Dactylorhiza fuchsii. And after they've gone over, an absolute mountain of scabious will arrive, those long willowy stems with the purple flowers, about 4 foot high, and the bumblebees hanging on them precariously as if they're doing a pole vault. So, that is a brief tour of the garden. I hope there will be some photographs appended of various close-ups of what are perhaps very small plants that are just such a joy to find when you wander around 2 acres at this time of year and you suddenly spot an orchid emerging or even a buttercup or something like that. So I hope you've enjoyed the tour. If you do come to visit us, there'll be a lot more flowers available to see and borders alight with colour at whatever time of year we fix to be open. So thanks for being with us. Hope to see you. Bye for now.